Hello, hello, and welcome to a new episode of Divas of the Round Table. I am Ladybug, and I have with me Nick and Nicole. Today we're here. We have a 17-year-old who has graduated from Jackson Senior High School, who plans to attend UNF and major in accounting. He has his own car detailing called Applying Pressure Mobile Detailing, so he's already an entrepreneur. He's an active leader at church. He's active with school with a organization called SWAT, which is Students Working Against Tobacco, and Teen Leaders of America. I present Macon Powell. He told me to make sure I said the second. Okay. So he's here. We're glad to have you here with us today. Thank you.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you.
Really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. Yes. So I thought about you when we were talking about the topic for today, stereotypes faced by black males and youth in society, stemming off of the incident we had here about 2 weeks ago about the senior takeover, senior skip day at the beach. And the police told the youth or the seniors not to attend or not to come to the beach. But kids being kids, they showed up to the beach anyways, and it was a lot of them. And due to that, there were several arrests. And when they showed the pictures of the youth that had been arrested, they were all black males, and they all had the exact, identical, same hairstyle. And they range from ages to 16 being the youngest, I believe, to 19. Okay. So that's why I thought this was a very important topic to have, because this is a relevant, and I know our young children, our young youth, they don't think about themselves being stereotyped. Yes. Or you're being stereotyped about not only the color of your skin, now by a haircut or the style that you wear your hair. Yes. So tell me, as a young black male, how do you feel about stereotypes?
One, I think not all stereotyping is bad.
Okay.
Stereotyping, one, allows you to depict how a person could be, because assumption is the first thing that comes to our mind. It's in our natural nature as humans. But I think that when it comes to racially stereotyping, that's where it becomes a problem, because obviously everybody isn't the same.
Right.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that kind of profiling, sometimes I do get disappointed in seeing my fellow black men around me, all look the same and all want to do the same thing when, that's the same thing that Martin Luther King tried to fight for, is for us to be different.
Right.
And so when you see us all with the same hairstyle, in the same clique, always around each other, listening to the same music, trying to be the same, it's like those who aren't us can only help but to assume or to stereotype us in the same category.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think it's sometimes is a confusion for people outside of our race to not understand that sometimes it's trendy to have a certain type of hairstyle or a certain type of look. And when you have people of different races, they can't wear those same hairstyles or things. Because when we were talking and you were describing the young men, I believe they all had dreads in their hair and stuff like that. And so when we talked about doing the show, I was thinking about, us coming in and discussing stereotyping as well as racial profiling, specifically with black men here in America, and how that affects us as black women, as a mom, as, because I raised two sons who I had to prepare to go out into the world knowing they will be stereotyped. They will be profiled because of something that they couldn't control, something that covers their body from head to toe, and that's their skin. That's their skin. Yep. So, I think it's interesting having you on as a young black man, here in America, in the United States. I'm not
In
going to say
Jacksonville.
America because it's North and South America. But, and people always, I don't know why they think, and when they say America, this is the only thing. No, baby,
Yes,
it's South
South
America.
America.
And North America consists of
Right.
3 countries, 2 other countries, but 3 countries. Anywho, being a black man here in the United States, what were some of the things, or what are some of the things that your parents have instilled in you or prepared you to know that this possibly could happen to you, or how do they armor you to go out into this world that we live in here?
Well, my family, Nikki is part of my she is my older cousin, guys. She's basically raised me and my little sister. My family doesn't shield me from the world. They would not shield me from the world, and they would give it to me real. And because of that, since they allow me to see the things that happen around the world and allow me to not only see them, but experience them to where I'm still protected, it's like I know I have that common sense now to pull myself out of it.
Yes.
So they have always done a great job of teaching me without directly teaching me, if that makes sense. I don't know, I can really just say I naturally, picked up to not put myself in certain situations just based upon the discernment that God gives me.
Amen.
And just having common sense. And I feel as if that's the main thing that most of us lack, constantly being around others who are my age. I constantly see that or hear them having these conversations, Actually today, it was a couple of young guys walking past in the hallway. It was like, oh, this boy was talking. Don't let me catch him outside, this, that, and the third, I'm like, do y'all not understand? We got police officers around the whole school at all times.
Yes.
I forgot his name, but the resource officer at the school, he will tell us constantly, if y'all talk, it will get around. It will come back to me, and I will have y'all arrested.
Yeah.
It's like they don't have the common sense to think time and place when you shouldn't be doing that at all.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, why even go those lengths when there's other options? And they can only think that way because that's all they have been brought to. So I really can say most of the time it is based upon what the parents haven't done. And they have only been put in an environment to where that's all they know.
That's all they know, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be clear, transparent right now at this moment. Sitting here talking to Macon, and even when he walked in today, you're a trendy looking fella. You wearing some glasses. You got on the cap. You got twist in your hair. You got on a nice chain. These are all things that you could have 20 boys wearing these same things. But it's something about your demeanor, the way you carry yourself, that lets me know my heightened sense of security, or is not like that with you, because that's not the vibe that you're putting off.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, being parents or being just an adult in our community, we can sometimes tell them, hey, y'all could be cool without all that extra, without all that negative attention put on you. You could be trendy, you could be hip, you could be cool, but you don't have to be what they consider a thug. Because of sometimes, and I tell people all the time, I remember telling my son, when I was, started being a merchant seaman and everything, and he wanted some golds. My daughter was working. She bought him his first gold fronts and stuff. His money, his clothes, all of that designer stuff, that was merchant seaman money. That was your big sister bought you some golds. But the streets will look at you and stereotype you as being a drug dealing thug. When you just a boy going to school who mama done bought you a nice Buick and clothes and you got a couple of pieces of jewelry, because now you're carrying yourself like that. When you could have on a nice piece of jewelry and dress nice, you can wear your little polo and this and that, and not be on the other side of that. And I think it's so unfortunate that we have to step like that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have to step, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I even see the little other folk, you know, covered in tattoos and this and that, and I'll be like, child, he faking the phone. You know, they don't even get that same
They don't
second
get the
look
feedback.
They don't.
versus
Us.
when an African American boy,
When an
does the
African
same
American
way.
does it. Because there's so many negative stereotypes associated with the black male. It's
Yes.
so many. First of all, they have the fathers,
Yeah.
all of the negative stereotypes that go with the black males and the fathers. Then it trickles down to the son.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they assume that because the father was a certain type of way, then the son is going to be a certain type of way. Just because the father may have done something the wrong way, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to span over or spill over to the son. The son might say, hey, I've seen my dad's mistakes, so I don't want to be that stereotype
Correct.
black male.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
that's what happens sometimes when the kids are sometimes more woke than some of the parents. They
Yeah.
say, I don't want to go to jail like my family members did, or I might not want to have baby mamas like this. So the stereotypes, sometimes the kids want to break these generational curses.
Exactly.
Because the parents may not have the resources to help, then the kids have to figure out and maneuver, how am I going to move in this thing in life and beat these stereotypes and not become a statistic?
Right.
And that's
Exactly.
what we don't want our black males to be, the stereotype statistics. We want you to be the good statistics. Like when we see this black male, oh, I know he's well educated. I know he's this. But most of the time when we see our black men,
Hard.
we know they're our black men. We don't necessarily have fear about them because we're the black woman.
Yes.
So we understand our black men and our black youth, but society has painted such a negative stereotype with the word black and
Yeah.
black men till it's so hard for our black men, and it's almost depressing, and it beats them down if they don't have somebody in their corner to uplift them, or if they don't have a good upbringing, or if you don't have that whole village to help you with these stereotypes. Because these stereotypes, some of them are very hard,
Yeah.
and they're very harsh.
Yeah.
And so I think as people, we got to do better and work on it.
Let me ask you this, Macon. I saw you drove up here to the show today. When you were starting to drive on your own, did your family ever have to talk to you about if the police get behind you, or
Yeah.
you know, even just being in a car with other friends that look like you because of how you all could be perceived as being possibly a threat, or maybe possibly having drugs in the car, a gun, or whatever? Did your family have that talk with you when you were starting to go out on your own driving?
My father especially, he is the main one that tells me all the time, watch your surroundings, defensive driving, don't be having crazy people in your car. And that first one, you know, watching my surroundings and just watching my area, it's crazy y'all bring that up. Yes, I know I may seem like a role model, but your boy recently got a speeding ticket.
You got a ticket, mate.
So it was about 2 weeks ago, and I was coming across the bridge going over to the beach. You know, as soon as you come
Oh,
over
yes,
that, as soon as you
yes.
come over that bridge going to Jack's
Now
Beach,
you know.
police sitting right there.
Yes.
And you know, I wasn't watching my speed. I was coming off the expressway, and as soon as I get to the light, thinking that I have slowed down because I seen the cops pulled up right behind me, and I'm thinking I'm cool. You know, he did pull in kind of fast, but I'm thinking I'm good. As soon as that light turned green, lights turned on, I'm like, oh man. And so I rolled down my window. I already had my window down. I already had my license. You know, I knew it was late. I already had my license and stuff on me, and it was just me in the car. See the officer get out. It's a white male, and I'm looking in the mirror, and he's clutching his gun very hard, very tough. And I do drive a Dodge Charger, black Dodge Charger. So not only do the stereotypes come in from you being a black male, but also from the kind of car that you drive.
Yeah.
And it only adds to it as being a black male in that kind of car
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
And so he's clutching very hard, and it was a moment where I just felt like, dang, this is exactly the same thing that my father
Yes.
told me what would happen.
Yes.
And this might be the day that I might lose my life, depending on how I handle this situation. And I said that with a smile on my face, because I know that whenever a cop will get mad at you and will be quick to pull it out on you, not trying to risk it.
Yeah.
Sit there with a smile on my face, say yes, officer. And it's been too many times I have seen and have actually lost friends to police violence because they wanted to say the wrong things and they wanted to be too hard and think that they had, like, it was going to show that they were soft or whatnot. And leading a situation in vulnerability is the strongest thing a man could do, a black man can do at that. I think that whenever you lead with vulnerability and allow yourself to receive and you sit there and think before you do and hear, you will get yourself out of so many situations. And I've lived that. My father has constantly instilled that in me. And, you know, I can't thank him enough. And, you know, just having that natural instinct of this, I know I'm not supposed to be doing this. It's in the Bible. I can't directly quote the verse, but Paul, he says that the things that I do not want to do, I do them. And the things that I know I should do, I don't do them. And that's our natural human nature. And so just knowing that, it has really allowed me to be like, okay, let me think before I do. And that's the one thing that us black males, we really just do not do before. Is think. And be okay with not being strong all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you live to see another day.
Exactly.
Because that's all your parents want you to do, or your loved ones want you to do. When you leave that house, they want you to just come back in that house safe. Because that's a fear for us all.
Yeah.
Because there's so much happening out there in society that you are here today and you are gone today. And so we have to kind of shield our youth, shield our men, shield our children, protect our children, and hope that we are doing the right thing so that when they get put in those situations, as you did, they'll know how to handle it. Because, you know, you have some kids, they'll have panic attacks. You know, when they see the police, they get kind of scared because that's a stereotype. When you see the police, the black male, already he's nervous and he's scared because he doesn't know what's going to happen when that police if you make it home, whether the police officer is white, black, Mexican, Hispanic, Asian, you are still in fear of your life because of that stereotype and that racial profiling that goes with just being black in America. Just because we are, you know, we have criminal records. Are we the biggest criminals? They don't think about white collar crimes. They always thinking about the crimes that we do, but those white collar crimes are crimes too. But they don't stereotype them and consider them to be horrible criminals, even though you've wiped out people total sheer existence and stole all their money and they're not able to survive. It's always the stereotypes and the racial profiling of the black male.
Because I asked that with the trafficking because that was one of my things I had discovered in researching for this show is that there have been studies showing the disparities in traffic stops, searches, and the use of force when it comes to African American men here in the United States, or even other men of color. You know, so you know that's why I was saying I raised two sons. I have two sons, and that was one of the things for me, them going out into the world. They were home. We were good. You know what I'm saying? We were safe. They were in their little bubble. And I had two boys. I have two boys and a girl. And the girl, I mean, she was at every teen party, every teen club, every whatever. And the boys, they didn't want to really do that. And I was so happy. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's like a good part of childhood, you know, being a teen is hanging out with your friends, going out. But I was so scared that they would want to go to parties and do things. And I just was so glad that the oldest one, for sure, he didn't want to do nothing. I was so happy. And then with my daughter, I was like, yeah, girl, go and have fun. Because it was so different. It's different you know what I'm saying, with girls and things like that. And so that was one of the things that people asked me about was, oh, you let your daughter do this? And I told them, not saying that I wanted it, but I was like, y'all worried about a baby. I could live with a baby. I can't live with that police detective or whoever knocking at my door telling me my son ain't coming home. You know what I'm saying? And because of the stereotypes, and then the baby boy went into the dress, he had the wigs, you know, things sticking out every which way. And son, please. I said, don't you? I said, you could just, and he a construction worker. He going to work.
And it's
he just looked.
It's not like that. We all have bad intentions based upon the way that we look. I have many friends who have great intentions, who are genuinely smart individuals, but I tell them, I'm like, hey, now when you go out to this party, just be aware that if something do happen, you got these goals in your mouth, you got these locks, like, my boy, you look cool, but whenever them cops come around, you're going to be the first one that they look at.
Yep.
Yes.
And
seriously.
You're going to be the first one that they look at, and they cannot help but to question you and to assume. I see it all the time. And speaking on the senior skip day situation, I told myself I would not be going to that.
I was going to say, did you go?
I did not go.
I got a question about the senior skip thing. When you told me that all of the guys that was arrested looked similar. My question is, on the other side of that, I'm curious as to know I wonder if they had some kind of complaint and that was the description of the person that they needed to question. You know what I'm saying? Like if something happened and it was, the description is a black male, 5'10", dreads, wearing a white tee. Because, I mean, that's the standard. Here we go.
White tee or black tee.
You know, we ain't going to talk with some Air Force Ones. You know what I'm saying? But I wonder if that was the case. I don't know because I didn't read, about it or know more about what was going on in the beach in Florida, and I was waiting in California at the time when that happened. But I was just wondering, after me and you talking about it, I said, I wonder if just so happened, that's not giving them a pass because it's the stereotyping, the racial profiling, the racism, all of that is still very much prevalent. And it is a real thing. But I was just wondering about that. I wonder if something had happened and was that the description of the perpetrator.
See, I didn't hear them saying nothing. Did they say something?
So, actually, which is crazy, the reason the police even came out there because there was a white older male shaking his, hoo-haws in front of these, getting behind little girls that's still seniors and whatnot, actually out there doing inappropriate things. And because the police came out there and seen all the chaos and whatnot, came and got him, but only started to see these black individuals with these book bags.
Okay.
That's where they messed up with having these book bags and, constantly, when black people, when we tend to see drama and chaos, they start to gravitate towards it. And so gravitated towards it, and the police couldn't help but question it and start to assume. Then it got searched, and now you came out here with it.
And it's crazy you said the book bag. I'm going to just tell a little story, and I swear I ain't trying to throw nobody under the bus here. But a few weeks ago, I did a little cousin's thing at my parents' house, and my son's friend came, and he had the little crossbody.
Yeah.
And, my son had the little, they got the little boom box thing where you can Bluetooth to it. So he took out an iPad and his charger, and he was playing music on the thing for us. So later on that night, I asked him, I said, boy, what you got in that thing? He said, oh, nothing, Mama, just got, this is his friend. He called me Mom. Oh, nothing, Mom, I just got my iPad and my charger.
Yeah.
So later on, a couple of days later, my stepfather said, yeah, his friend came over here and he had that bag. He didn't have no gun in there, did he? I said, no, actually he didn't. Because I had asked him. But I then later on went on to say, you worried about him? My daughter-in-law, and son, they always carry. They carry all the time. I said it was a 3-piece at the party that you ain't even
That you missed. You missed.
Because
they didn't fit the stereotypes.
Correct.
They didn't
and
fit
it
the
was their
stereotypes.
bag. Whereas the other one, 2 purses, and my son carried on his hip. So it was covered. You didn't even know.
You ain't noticed.
But that's another situation of the stereotype, how it can get you jammed up. That's why I would say to any of the youth, make sure you are right when you step out the house. Make sure you're right. If you carry, make sure you have, you're supposed to be carrying. You're not a felon. You don't have a record. You don't have this and that going on. You ain't got a couple of, I'm not a smoker, grams, I guess. I don't know. Whatever you got in that bag, I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Just make sure you're right and you're a law-abiding citizen. I have a concealed carry permit, which we don't need it in Florida, but I have my license. I'm a registered gun owner. I have several guns. Do I feel the need to carry them everywhere? No, I don't. But if I do get pulled over, hey, officer, this is what I have.
Yeah.
And I don't have no
You don't have
record,
no
you know
record,
what I'm saying?
right.
Boy, look at here. Squeaky clean over here.
But sometimes it's like when those officers get behind you, you get nervous.
You get nervous.
You get nervous. You don't care what you're doing, what side of town you're on.
I was down the street, did 35 in a 40 the other day. I said, oh, Lord, let me speed up because I was nervous. And on the street, it was like no posted signs for a good little way. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was houses here and there. I said, well, maybe I'm just do 30 to be safe because it's a residential, you know. But it was 40. And I said, okay. I know he was mad that I was doing.
And listen, me being me, I have to protect myself, especially if you're pulling me over and the cops get behind me and it's nighttime. Me being me, I call the police on the police.
Okay.
So when you pull me over, when you behind me, I call the police and I say, hey, it's an officer behind me. I'm going to stop in a well-lit area because I'm not pulling over on no dark back road and it's dark. So I call the police on the police and they say, did you call the police on me? Yes, sir, I sure did. I just want to make sure you're legit. You are who you are because I'm going home and you're going home. And by the time I call the police, they'll be like, all right, ma'am, you have a good night.
And it sucks that we have to do that, though.
Yeah.
It sucks that one, police officers don't do enough to let us know that, hey, we're on your side. Police, they'll be quick to say it in front of hierarchy people or not, but when it comes to speaking to the community, they don't make it. Like our chief of police, some things I agree with him on. The other things, I feel as if he's just really against the young people in our community. And yes, he does want our safety, but doesn't try to work with us in no kind of way. Hence of why all of that commotion had to go on. It was bound to go on at the beach.
It's a disconnect.
Yes, and even some time before that, when the rapper Lil Papa died, may he rest in peace, there was another shooting at the beach, and it's just like, they don't do enough to be on our side. Now, mind you, we post everything. It is the digital age of social media. The senior skip they thing was posted. You already knew there was going to be seniors at the beach, no matter what. Yeah. And y'all did good by pushing the curfew up to 2. It was people were going to come out to 12, but y'all had no police out there when everybody was there. And y'all should have had it warranted. Should have already had these. Because when they see police, when I see a police, I'm like, okay, cool. Let me just.
Chill out.
Chill out for a minute. But y'all didn't have no police out there. And so you gave these kids the opportunity and didn't do anything to help us or didn't do anything to be like, hey, I'm on your side. Look, like, if you of age and you carry it, cool. Carry it in the right places, though. Hence, don't bring a book bag. Carry it on your hip. Make it known. It's like they don't work with us.
Yeah.
And Chief of Police, he has not done a great job, in my opinion, with working with the youth.
And I think it does need to be a bridge between the youth and the men and the police, because we gotta all try to save each other. We gotta try to save our youth and protect them. They're our future. They are our future, and you don't want them to grow up resenting us when we gonna need them in the future when we get older. So we're gonna need them to be able to be stable, to be able to be productive citizens in society, because they're gonna have to help us, because we're not gonna be youthful all of our lives. So we gotta let them know that we're here for them, we're here to protect them, and we're here to protect them against the good and the bad of the racial profiling and the negative stereotypes.
Yes. Correct. I got one thing to say before we have to wrap it up with Macon. Everybody wants an even playing field, and at the end of the day, everybody wants fairness. What does fairness look like to you? Because you're a young black male and you are our future. What does fairness look like in your eyes?
I think fairness is you taking advantage of every single opportunity that come to you. And taking advantage don't mean taking the opportunity neither. Sometimes you have opportunities that will come to you, but you know it's not for you, but you still take it because you feel as if I don't, I'm going to be looked at in this kind of way. Or if I don't, I'm going to lose out on this. Sometimes saying no is the biggest thing that you can do.
The biggest flex.
It's the biggest flex. And those situations like that, saying no to going out, saying no to drinking and smoking, and knowing that you're not supposed to be speeding and cutting up through traffic with your friends, saying no to those things will lead you only closer to having a better life, having a non-profile and stereotype life.
Yes.
Is my pastor, his name is Tim Timberlake, and the thing that he told us, well, specifically me, that good choices will only lead you closer to having a better life.
Right.
Whether that's you in your relationship, whether that's in school, whether that's just on your own. Go take a walk or something before you go and do something stupid. Thinking about what you're doing before you do it and making better choices that you know that you can make will only lead you to not being stereotyped, to not being looked at in some kind of way. If this is the final message, then I say to you all, just think before you do. It's the biggest thing that you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, words from words of wisdom for the youth.
Listen here, Ladybug. Y'all did a heck of a job with this one right here. I'm here to tell you, this is a very impressive young man.
Yeah.
You guys, like I said, when he came in, his whole demeanor, everything about him, just lets you know that this is a person that is intelligent, that is open to receiving, and have a lot to pay forward. I look forward to hearing good things about you, Macon.
Thank you all for
So
having me.
Macon, tell us about the mobile detailing. What's the name of the detailing? How can they reach you if they want to get their cars clean, the house pressure washed, or anything? Tell them how they can find you.
Yeah, so I have a car detailing business. Well, really pressure washing detailing business. It's called Applying Pressure Mobile Detailing. You can find me at Applying Pressure _.mobile detailing, or you can follow my Instagram at its_.macon, MACON. And if you want your car detailed, if you need your house pressure washed, I do driveways, or if you just need somebody to talk to, man, just hit me up.
All right. All right.
So,
Thank you, Macon.
yeah.
I'll be hitting you up because I need my driveway done. I need my driveway done.
Of course.
And he does great work because I call him all the time, Macon, I need you to come help me do this. And he is right there. So we definitely appreciate you for giving us. You were really good. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy. I'm proud of the young man that he is and he's becoming, because growing up,
And I'm here to tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you, hearing it from the youth, it resonates different. It hits different. Hearing it from a young black man, instead of us talking about these people, we have one on the show.
Right.
And I appreciate you being here. I really do.
Of course. I thank y'all for having me.
all right.
Right.
So that was an episode of Divas of the Round Table with Mr. Macon Powell. I'm Ladybug. Hey, it's almost the end of school. We got one more month left. We got,
this year, I'm
what is
ready to
this,
go.
April? We got May, and school is going to be out. Parents, get ready, get all the juice, get all the snacks, get all the cookies, get all the chips, because May 28th, y'all can start by May 20th, keeping them home. Spicy's not here. She's on the road, on the highways and byways. And we have Nicole. Nicole, you want to say anything?
Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah, see, that wasn't that bad. You
Yeah,
did good.